For the Do Good Challenge, what excites you about that opportunity?
Wow. That would be so exciting.
Our students have shown time and time again that they do not just wish for a better world, they roll up their sleeves and they get it done.
Let's go out and do more good. Welcome to the 14th annual Do Good Challenge. My name is Bob Grimm, and it is my incredible pleasure to be the Levinson Family Chair and Director of the Do Good Institute. And it is also my incredible privilege to have come up to the stage now the individual that is leading us fearlessly forward to tackle the grand challenges of our time and to change our world for good. Please welcome to the stage, President Pines.
Thank you, Bob. I might be your fearlessly forward leader, but the energy of Do Good Challenge and Do Good Institute is Bob Grimm. Give him a round of applause. What a great turnout. Tonight is about what happens when we follow our inspiration, when we embrace the call to make a difference, and when we decide that now is the time to take on the grand challenges of our time. It's a journey that can seem overwhelming at first. Our world is big and beautiful and full of promise, yet also has pressing issues that can seem beyond the grasp of a single person or a single group. But tonight is a reminder that every big change starts with a single spark of an idea that first takes root in a classroom, maybe a classroom discussion, or a conversation around dinner, at the dining hall, or even as you stare at the stars while you're laying out on McKeldin Mall in this wonderful weather. Here at the University of Maryland, the world's first Do Good campus, and did I just say the first Do Good campus? Did I just say the first Do Good campus? That's right. We fan that spark by combining passion with purpose, and fuel with hands-on experiences, funding opportunities, contests, and other resources to make sure that our students don't just dream of a better world, they actually make it happen. For 14 years now, we have seen how much the impact Do Good makes by empowering our students across every school and college to take bold action and turn ideas into solutions and mold passion into progress. By making it to the stage tonight, the teams competing in this year's finals have already shown what they are capable of. But with your support, now in the days to come, we know that they can go even much further. Because Do Good isn't just about the folks on the stage, it really is about all of us and the better future that we can fashion by all of us working together to make a better world. Margaret Mead was right when she famously said to never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world, because it is the only thing that ever has. You make the difference to change the world. So congratulations to the teams tonight. Thank you again for being here and helping to make it possible for Terps to do good here, there, and everywhere. And as I always like to end, go Terps! Thank you.
How about another round of applause for President Pines? Woo! We so appreciate President Pines' incredible commitment and support to do good. And I also want to thank Provost Rice and Dean Flores Macias for their incredible support and commitment to do good. Woo! And I want to thank all of you here who have also partnered with us and made Do Good possible. And I'd like to recognize a few of our incredible partners that have made the Do Good Institute and the Do Good Challenge possible. First, I want to thank the company that has been the lead sponsor for the Do Good Challenge for 13 straight years. Please give a big round of applause to Morgan Stanley Private Wealth Management. And we are very fortunate that for almost a decade now, we've had a transformative partnership and an incredible friendship with a group that has accelerated the growth of the Do Good Institute and the Do Good Challenge. Please give a big round of applause to the Rothschild Foundation. We are also thankful for the third year of sponsorship by the Equitable Foundation. And we also want to thank the Richard E. and Nancy P. Marriott Foundation and the Alquist family, who have been partners with us for years and years, and Do Good wouldn't be possible without them. And I'm also excited to thank the Black Mill, who was founded by one of our own students, Chelsea Brown. That's right, right? She was inspired by the challenge as a student, and now this is the second year she's a sponsor of the Do Good Challenge. And for 14 years, if you're counting, that's every year of the Do Good Challenge, we've got incredible and exquisite and beautiful photos from the place that if you want to check out photography, you need to check out Freed Photography. Round of applause for Freed Photography. And all the impact you're going to see tonight is thanks to the vision, the leadership, and the partnership of the Karen and Bruce Levinson Foundation. Yeah. Today, thousands and thousands of students are making an impact in their communities and around the world thanks to them. And since we started the challenge, we've been growing ways to provide support, education, coaching, and all kinds of supports to Terp social innovators. And let me tell you, friends, our Do Good programs, they get results. Let me just give you one example. Five of the last 6 of the University of Maryland's winners of the Outstanding Young Alumnus Award are former Do Good Challenge champions or Do Good Challenge finalists. So pay attention to the finalists tonight, because you're probably going to see some more Maryland students who are going to be racking up lots of awards now and long into their careers. But let's not put any more pressure on the finalists tonight, all right? I mean, they got enough. And another thing I'm really proud of is that for the second consecutive year, the Do Good Institute has experienced exponential growth in participation and impact. When we started just one course with an educational experiment. And today, the Do Good Institute is providing experiences and support for over 10,000 students a year on campus. And you're going to get a taste of the impact of Do Good students with the finalists. But I want to also give a big round of applause to the incredible Do Good team that makes all parts of Do Good possible. And if you can believe it, friends, next year is the 10th anniversary of the Do Good Institute and the 15th anniversary of the Do Good Challenge. What began, if you think about it, at the University of Maryland as our own challenge? Could students be educated and empowered to change the world now? And the answer is a resoundingly yes, thanks to our incredible campus-wide Do Good campus. And now, in a moment, we're very excited to share a short video about the Institute, and later, you're going to get to see 2 short videos from the Students Change the World exhibit, which is part of the Do Good Plaza and the Do Good Rings, and it's the part of the first experience for prospective students and visitors to Maryland. So what do you think? Let's get started.
What if your college experience could change lives, starting with your own? At the University of Maryland, the Do Good Institute prepares students to turn ideas into impact. We equip changemakers just like you with the knowledge, tools, and experiences to tackle the world's biggest challenges. Whether you're taking a course in social innovation, launching your own nonprofit, or even interning at a mission-driven organization, DGI is your launchpad.
Taking Do Good Now gave me the background and the skills to turn my passion into action.
Receiving the Do Good Campus Fund grant was so validating for us. Being rewarded through the Do Good Institute's mission and community was so incredibly motivating and inspiring.
When I first started in nonprofit work, I felt like I was kind of on the bus. Now I feel like I can drive the bus.
No matter your major, no matter your background, if you care about making a difference, this is your community. From your first year to your future career, the Do Good Institute will help you build a life of impact. Join us and start doing good today.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome again. Thank you for the applause. I know it was for the video, but I'll take it. Thank you, President Pines. My task is always to let you know how the program is going to work so you know what to expect, but I just need to take a second and gush on this community. I am so enamored with everyone in this community and getting to connect with sponsors and partners and alumni and students before the event is what brings that special warmth to the evening and makes it so special. So thank you again, all of you, for being here. Whether it's your first challenge or your 14th, you're in for an inspiring evening. Terps are extraordinary, and tonight you're going to witness it firsthand. We do have a packed program ahead, so let me do my job and let you know how everything's going to work. First, our 6 finalist teams are going to have 5 minutes to pitch the impact that they've created to our panel of expert judges, and then they'll have a follow-up few minutes of Q&A. We'll also hear from 2 top semifinalist teams who are going to give a lightning pitch, and we're going to play a trivia game. Our judges are going to get to decide which teams take home the first, second, and third place prizes in each of the tracks. And mind you, finalists tonight are competing for their share of $40,000. But judges aren't the only ones giving out prizes. I hope you all have muted your cell phones and put them away, but don't put them too far, because a little later tonight, we're going to ask you, the audience, to text to vote for your favorite finalist pitch and your favorite lightning pitch. And the winner of those votes is going to take home additional cash prizes. We have 2 competition tracks this evening. The Founders track is for competitors who are the original creators of their organization, project, or initiative. And the Leaders track is for competitors who are in leadership or decision-making roles, such as director or president. This also includes student groups and campus chapters. We're going to get things started with our Founders track, and then we'll hear from our Leaders teams. Tonight, our Founders track finalists are Black People Die by Suicide 2, New Generation Myanmar, somebody brought their fans with them, excellent, and Nurture Natives. Woo! You all know there's an audience choice vote. Okay, let's get started with the Founders track.
Please welcome this year's Founders Track judges. Sagar Doshi, Strategy and Operations Manager for Deloitte Consulting and Do Good Challenge alum. Khalil Kettering, Executive Director for the Nature Conservancy, Maryland, D.C. Chapter and Do Good Challenge alum. And Francesca Zelachowski, Group Director and First Vice President for Private Wealth Management at Morgan Stanley. Welcome to the stage, Black People Die by Suicide 2.
Black people don't kill themselves. Our people were enslaved, so what do we have to be depressed about? Suicide is a sign of weakness. These are some of the messages that perpetuate the stigma within the Black community, leading to suffering, isolation, and unfortunately, suicide. When you look at this picture, you see beautiful brown faces, many of them smiling. But if I asked you which one were to likely die by suicide, who would you choose? The answer, all of them died by suicide. Stigma cost us loved ones who never got a chance to say goodbye and the pain that they leave behind. In fact, every 11 minutes, a person dies by suicide. And by the end of this competition, 21 lives will be lost. But here's the unspoken truth. This isn't just a poverty issue. Black Americans have some of the fastest growing suicide rates in this country. And research shows that for Black women who are high income earning face a greater risk than low income white women. For Black men, ages 15 to 24, suicide is the second leading cause of death. And our beautiful brown babies, ages 5 to 12, are twice as likely to die by suicide than their white peers. And that's a 144% increase. My name is Takia Blackman, and I'm the co-founder of Black People Die by Suicide 2. I'm a student, an instructor, an entrepreneur, a speaker, but what you may not know is that I'm also a suicide attempt survivor. That's why I founded Black People Die by Suicide 2. Our mission is to normalize the conversation about suicide within the Black community by providing resources and education to instill hope. 3 tracks. 1, peer support groups to ensure that Black people have safe spaces to talk about their challenges. 2, workshops on suicide prevention and mental health literacy to ensure that they can identify signs of suicide. 3, our podcast to expand conversations about suicide as well as recovery. Founded in 2023, our podcast exceeded 20,000 downloads. And we also raised more than $150,000. We participated in over 50 community events, leading to reaching more than 5,000 Marylanders. And out of the many partnerships, our partnership with the Maryland Department of Health and the Trevor Project, we help to implement and be the first state in the country for LGBT youth suicide prevention training. NAMI, the walk, we were able to reach more than 2,000 people. And in collaboration with the University of Maryland, Baltimore-Washington Medical Center, we hosted a wellness retreat for Black individuals who lost loved ones to suicide. And with Prince George's County Public Schools and the Sheriff's Office, we hosted a youth mental health training. But we've even gone global. People join our support groups from the United Kingdom, Canada, and Brazil. And we hosted a workshop in Panama City, Panama. $10,000 will help us to sustain our infrastructure by investing in community outreach, marketing, accounting software, and making sure that we can sustain our organization. Additionally, help us with our fundraising goal of reaching $50,000 this year. And continue to raise awareness about the benefits of peer support during a time when there is a mental health clinician shortage and clinicians who lack cultural humility. We are filling that gap with peer support. As a result, we hope to reach 100 more individuals because we're not just building an organization. We are building a community that says, our lives matter. Our pain is real and no one is alone. $10,000 may not seem like much, but to us and to the people we serve, it is the difference between hopelessness and hope. It is how we keep people alive. Thank you.
All right, I'm making sure this is on. First of all, as a former student who's presented, congrats, you went first, it's done, you feeling good? Just want to also say thanks so much for sharing your personal story on this topic as well. I had one question related to the peer support groups. I can imagine as you open up to your peers in different communities, it's a very welcoming feeling, right, to maybe share about some of the mental health challenges individuals are going through. I'm just curious, how do you ensure that these peer-led support stays safe and doesn't unintentionally replace professional care?
Yes, absolutely. So all of our peer recovery specialists, including myself, are trained and credentialed through the Maryland Behavioral Health Peer Addictions Certification Board. And when we start our support groups, one of the things that we do, we ask our participants to help us put together a comfort agreement for them to tell us what is deemed safe for them. Me saying a space is safe is not enough. And so that's part of what we do. So we make sure that they are trained, and we also do not allow people to go into the specifics in which they meant to attempt. And if there's an incident where someone is actively experiencing suicidal thoughts, we are trained to de-escalate and connect them to services.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say thank you for bringing this topic to the forefront. It's very important to me, my family, mental health issues. I can say as a black man in Washington, D.C., trying to find another black man for mental health, it's hard to find someone you can relate to. And so it's so great to create that community. And so I want to dig in a little bit more into the $10,000 and how that can advance what your vision of success is. How you think about balancing both maintaining services, because mental health is not a destination, it's an ongoing journey, while also opening up the doors for others. So can you explain a little bit more about how that $10,000 can be helpful for your vision of success?
Yes, so part of it is accounting software. We are a very small grassroots organization, so we're only 3 years old. So that's supporting us with accounting software that we need to make sure that all of our books are done properly, as well as marketing to expand to reaching more people with our support groups. Right now, we are at a place where we have roughly about 8 people who attend our support groups regularly. The goal is to cap it at 12 people, so marketing and being able to reach more people for the support groups as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Echoing what the fellow judges said, thank you so much for sharing this and your journey. I loved hearing about the partnerships that you've built with health providers and other hospitals. Could you talk more about those partnerships in the community?
Yes. So, for instance, the partnership with the University of Maryland Baltimore Medical Center, we realized that there was no other wellness retreat or any sort of conference that was specifically focused on Black individuals who lost loved ones to suicide. Many loved ones would attend our support groups and they would say, I just want to know what my loved one was thinking before they took their lives. So we realized that that was an area of people who were not being paid attention to. And so we worked with the University of Maryland, Baltimore, Washington Medical Center to address that and to fill that gap and not only focus on individuals who currently struggled or have struggled. So that was one of the main partnerships.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the stage, New Generation Myanmar.
I was born and raised in Myanmar. So if you don't know Myanmar, it is a very beautiful country in Southeast Asia with rich culture and natural resources. But everything changed in 2021. There was a military coup, and because of that, a lot of crises happened. As a result, more than 6 million students lost access to safe education. At the same time, more than 125,000 teachers, they joined this civil disobedience movement, and they lost their job overnight. As the military coup followed by the COVID-19 pandemic, many students in Myanmar have already lost 3 to 4 years of education. Now, it's not just about students losing access to safe education. It is about an entire generation losing their hope and future. So when my brothers and I saw this happening, we felt that this is something we must add on. We have to act now, or there will be a huge consequences for the whole generation. That's why we founded New Generation Myanmar. My name is Al. I'm the co-founder and director of NGM.
My name is David, and I'm a student development advisor.
So what is New Generation Myanmar? So New Generation Myanmar is an international online school where we reach students across all 14 states and regions in Myanmar. So we provide KG to 12 education, GED program, and other learning opportunities. And also we ensure that students, parents, and teachers, they all have the resources they need to succeed.
At New Generation Myanmar, students can join live classes conducted through Zoom, and in certain situations are able to view recordings. We teach through project-based learning with a focus on English and digital literacy. We want students to be ready for the real world and have the skills they need to be successful in their future. New Generation Myanmar also provides students with access to tech resources like Microsoft Suite, as well as access to digital literacy certification modules and courses on coding and software development. They are also able to join 17 clubs dealing with leadership, arts, debate, and other academic disciplines. Teachers at NGM are provided with stable employment and are given support for personal and professional growth, enabling them to continue pursuing their passion for education, empowering the next generation, and upholding democratic values in the face of military dictatorship. And finally, the parents of NGM students receive the guidance and support they need to make it through this difficult situation they are currently facing in Myanmar.
So right now in Myanmar, it is morning and our school is about to start in a few hours. So every single school day, we run over 50 classes with our 1,500 plus currently enrolled students. In our 2-year history, we have served over 3,400 students, and also we generated more than 60,000 instructional hours. So we have also been able to grant more than 260,000 in scholarship. So more than 300 students plus received their full scholarship, and more than 1,000 plus students received the partial support, which cover from 30 to 60% of their tuition. So with our revenue model, we have generated more than 200,000 USD, which is fully reinvested into teaching infrastructure, operation, and student support. We also employ more than 100 teachers and staff, and also financially provide their housing and other things who are in need. So beyond classroom, we also share about our educational resources, knowledge sharing, webinar, training on our social media, where we reach over 11.7 million views in 2025 alone.
We have been able to make a strong impact so far, but we need support to continue growing further. Currently, we have 2 goals for the future. Our first goal is to get international accreditation, so students' diplomas are more readily accepted worldwide. Right now, when a student finishes 12th grade, their opportunity to pursue a higher education abroad is mainly limited to a few universities in Thailand. We want our students to be able to pursue an education at any university or any program across the world. Our second goal is to increase student enrollment to 10,000 students within the next 2 years. To do this, NGM will have to upgrade its current digital infrastructure and invest in new, more effective tools to be able to support a growing student body. We'll also have to invest in our teachers and provide them the support they need to continue giving back to an even larger amount of students. We hope to employ 500 more teachers in the future. With your help, we can achieve these goals. But more importantly, this is not just a Myanmar student problem. Right now, across the world, there are millions of students who do not have access to education because of global crises and wars. We have made a strong foundation, and we hope to replicate this model so that any child, anywhere, regardless of their situation, can have access to education.
Because we believe education is not just about learning. Education is hope, opportunity, and freedom. Together, we can keep the light of learning alive. And together, we can give every student the future they deserve. Thank you.
Wow. You went second. You got it out of the way. Good job. Can you explain a little bit more about, it's going to be a similar question, on the $10,000. What are the assumptions that you're making that need to go right, and how are you testing those?
So, first, we are hoping for, as one of our main goals is international accreditation. So our assumption is with this money, we're able to invest it in making sure that our systems are now more in line with the international standards that these organizations require, so we'll be able to achieve this actual accreditation. And second, we want to expand the growing student body, and to do that, we'll need to make sure that these systems that we implement are, so we're currently doing digital literacy for all the student staff, and we need these teachers and staff to be able to use these new programs and for them to actually be effective and achieve their desired results.
I just have to applaud your teachers because as a mother of a first grader, doing virtual school is no small feat, so treat them well, please. My question would be, with the digital literacy and being virtual, how are you going to use AI to build scale within this model?
Yes, AI is definitely one of our main focus right now because Myanmar is a developing country. So before that, everything is manual or it's handwriting, stuff like that. So everyone is not very similar, very familiar with the AI. So right now we have a AI department that we want to focus not only teachers but also students. They can use AI to make all the process much easier, more effective, and also they are not, even though a lot of crisis happening, we don't want our students feel they are left behind. So we have the whole department who is doing that, and we have a training program that we give not only to teachers but also to the students.
Great. My one question is, as we hear more about this, we talked about the students and the impact, the accreditation. I'd actually love to hear more about the teachers. It's my understanding they're kind of leaving some of the previous jobs that they have, they're moving over. I imagine if I was a teacher, I might try to look for my next job opportunity right after maybe doing this for a semester or so. What's the plan in place to retain teachers and ensure that they're continuing motivated to stay a part of the program? Because you can scale maybe your students 2x, but the teachers have to scale to appropriate ratio as well. So I'd love to hear more about that.
Yes, so NGM, so the teachers, the math also really high. So there are so many teachers, they are lost, right? But currently with our current student body, we can only hire 100 teachers. But every year we have 500 applications for teachers. So that's why one of the reasons why we want to grow into more student body is, so if we got 10K students, it means we can give job opportunity for 500 students, 500 teachers who are in need. Because for teachers, they just want to teach. They don't want to do other work. So we are giving the stable employment, also giving the intention, and also for the students and teachers, we are making them able to be in the classroom even though they are not on the campus. Also for the quality. So every teacher, they have to go through one-man training program before they start their education. So in that one-man program, we teach about personal and professional development, AI, digital literacy, mental health, so they can give back to the student and new generation in Myanmar.
Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, Nurture Natives.
Good evening, everyone. I am Esther Bonney, founder and executive director of Nurture Natives. Can you name this insect? Go ahead, shout it out. That's right, it's a bumblebee. For most of us, it's an obvious answer, right? A symbol of gardens, childhood, and connection. But for most youth today, that answer isn't so obvious. A study from the University of Bath found that 83% of children aged 5 to 16 cannot identify a bumblebee. 83%. This reveals a deepening and concerning disconnect from the natural world. How can we expect the next generation to protect biodiversity if they can't recognize what we are losing? This is me at 5 years old, dressed as a monarch butterfly. My connection to nature came from everyday moments. My backyard in southern Maryland, collecting wildflowers, climbing trees, chasing fireflies at dusk, like stars in the sky, they were everywhere. Last summer, however, I counted fewer than a dozen. Firefly populations have declined by 70% over the past decade, driven by habitat loss, pesticides, and light pollution. And it's not just fireflies. Over the past 4 years, I have worked with thousands of youth from urban and suburban communities who all tell the same story. The nature that once filled their neighborhoods is quietly disappearing. In its place, we've created landscapes dominated by turf grass and ornamental plants. They look green, but they don't support life. Native plants, which evolved alongside local wildlife over centuries, are being replaced. And when this happens, entire ecological relationships collapse. Along with not recognizing nature, today's children rarely spend time in it, averaging less than 10 minutes outside each day in unstructured outdoor play. And when they do go outside, it's often into spaces without biodiversity: turf fields, plastic playgrounds, simplified environments. We are not just losing ecosystems, we are losing the experience of nature itself. The data reflects this. In the US, 41% of US ecosystems are at risk of collapse. We are facing two simultaneous crises: ecological decline and a growing disconnect between people and nature. These issues are deeply intertwined because if young people don't experience nature, they won't fight for it. That is why I founded Nurture Natives, a youth-led nonprofit empowering young people through native biodiversity restoration. We start with education. Through over 200 programs, we have educated more than 10,000 youth, restored 420 acres worth of habitat, and planted over 2.5 million seeds. Second, we host community plant giveaways, distributing over 70,000 native plants to communities across all 24 counties in Maryland. Third, we create accessible resources. In partnership with the University of Maryland, we published a guide to 12 common but invasive ornamental plants and their native alternatives, with 200 copies distributed to nurseries across 7 East Coast states. At one of our workshops, a 9-year-old girl said to me, "This is the first seed I have ever planted." That moment stuck with me because gardening is powerful in its simplicity. In any space, a backyard, a schoolyard, even a windowsill, a child can cultivate life. Nurture Native's work is sustained through partnerships with over 80 organizations, a volunteer network of 300 youth, and a 5-member executive team. And we are ready to scale. With an investment of $10,000, we will expand our work in 3 ways. First, a K-12 curriculum, providing hands-on Native biodiversity education to 5,000 students across 70 schools nationwide. Second, youth leadership expansion, training 25 youth leaders and launching 8 new student-led chapters. Third, native plant giveaways, distributing 800 native trees and shrubs to communities. Over the past 4 years, Nurture Natives has been recognized by the Environmental Protection Agency and been featured globally as the face of the native plant movement. From Texas to Japan to South Africa, youth are asking us how they can bring Nurture Natives to their own communities. We are ready to scale, and with your investment of $10,000, this becomes possible. Thank you.
Great presentation, great energy. The question I had is, I think you had something on there in regarding to the funds, and you'll want to start, I think you said around 8 chapters. You want to start 8 different chapters. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Where are these chapters going to be based out of? What's kind of the selection process? How are you all thinking that that's the best use of the funds?
Of course, we will launch our chapters. We're focusing on the Mid-Atlantic for now. Again, we have been reached out to by youth across the nation. And the reason I came to Maryland is to work on Nurture Natives and continue developing our resources to eventually have chapters nationwide, but we are addressing an issue that no other nonprofit is addressing, focused fully on youth. So we'll start with the Mid-Atlantic and here at Maryland, and then from there, we'll see what happens.
Love this topic. Being from the Nature Conservancy, and so my bias, I'm going to put my bias out there. My bias is always there's too many nonprofits. So I want you to help me to change that bias. Because when you think about you're founding a nonprofit, you're thinking about how are you going to pay for yourself, how are you going to pay for staff, how are you going to address legal, how are you going to address HR, how are you going to address all these different things. So how are you thinking with a scaling model of you talked about using money for programming, but how are you thinking of actually building an infrastructure in a nonprofit so that it's able to sustain itself and have impact?
Well, first of all, I started this nonprofit in high school, and I was around a lot of people who also agreed that there were too many nonprofits, especially high school nonprofits. I would say, first of all, native plants, as you know, they are the underdog, and I'm always one for the underdog. They are the foundation of every ecosystem, and there are very, very few nonprofits actually focused on them, and we are the only youth-led nonprofit focused on native plants. And I would say we are partners with Wild Ones, the leading native plant organization in the United States, and I was recently elected as an honorary director to work with them for the next 3 years. So under their leadership, I will gain a lot of experience and knowledge in nonprofit management, and with working with the Do-Good Institute and as an accelerator fellow, I will gain more experience there as well. And again, we have a 5-member executive team, and we have youth reaching out to us from Brooklyn, New York, from Vermont, from Johns Hopkins, who also want to get involved. So we will model after Wild Ones on a youth-based level, and we will continue working with youth who have experience in this field.
Esther, thank you so much for this today. My question is really about that journey with the youth's relationship with nature. I know that you've done, planting the first seed and programming. Can you talk more about how that relationship will continue to develop and have repeat, youth experiences?
Yeah, I recognize that each age group has a distinct need, and I founded Nurture Natives actually after losing my brother to suicide when I was 12, and I spent hours and hours and hours outside by my local creek just walking along it. And so throughout the whole age spectrum, my goal is always addressing the intersection of youth mental health and environmental stewardship. And for elementary, we're focusing on that exposure and getting used to it. And middle school and high school, we're focusing on leadership and especially mental health. And always, I am such a big fan of community service, and I think that native plants being such an accessible form of climate action, that is our number one goal.
Thank you.
How about one more round of applause for our Founders Track finalists and judges. Judges, you know what to do. It's time to head back to the deliberation chamber and determine who's going to take home first, second, and third place. Next up is the Leaders Track. The Leaders Track finalists tonight are American Diversity Group Free Clinic, Hack for Impact UMD, okay, Remote Area Medical UMD. Yes. But before we bring out our leaders judges and hear from our finalists, we're going to watch a video about a past challenge finalist alum, True Community.
In 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, we came up with this idea of a true community where people had the resources they needed, where they were supported by community members, and generally where wellness was a priority. And first aid and CPR is a foundational component to making sure people are well. We started by teaching these skills here in the US when I was approached by several of my friends who were from Ghana, and they asked, can we bring these skills to Ghana? I said yes, and that yes turned into me meeting Ebenezer.
We started having conversation as to how we will be able to expand access to marginalized communities, particularly to a country that I come from, Ghana. Less than 1% of the population knows first aid CPR.
In the past 2 summers, we've trained instructors that live in Ghana, that are a part of these communities, so that after we leave, they continue to teach these community members these valuable skills.
We cannot do it alone. We need partnership. And then the people that you recruit must be committed to push the mission and then the vision.
The Do Good Institute has allowed True Community to focus in on the impact we're trying to have. It's also provided us a network of people that are passionate about doing good. True Community has certified over 10,000 people in first aid and CPR. We have 20 training centers in the US, and we now have 4 training centers in Ghana. Each training center that we've established in Ghana will train an estimated 4,000 people annually. Our data suggests that every 100 people trained produces a life saved annually. And for us, that's really what matters, is how many lives can we save as a result of expanding access to these skills.
Please welcome this year's Leader Track judges, Michelle Gilliard, Principal Consultant for Michelle Gilliard and Associates, LLC. Viraj Shah, Co-Founder and CEO for Vitalize and Do Good Challenge alum. Julie Schiffman, Co-Founder and Vice President of External Relations for Last Mile Food Rescue in Cincinnati. Welcome to the stage, American Diversity Group Free Clinic.
On my first day volunteering in the clinic, a woman named Maria walked in and asked for the intake forms in Spanish. She then proceeded to triage, where I started to take her vitals. As we talked, I learned she'd been living in Montgomery County for 8 years and supported her 3 kids by working 2 jobs. So I asked her a simple question. When was the last time you saw a doctor? She paused and said she never had, because she didn't have insurance. When I took her blood pressure, it was 160/100. She had stage 2 hypertension, but she had no idea. She thought her headaches were just from stress. Unfortunately, millions of people like Maria experience the same situation every day. My name is Yash Porwal, and I'm the Director of Clinical Affairs at the American Diversity Group Free Clinic.
And my name is Prem Saha, and I'm the Director of Outreach and Operations. Maria's story is far too common. In the United States, more than 27 million Americans are uninsured, and in the communities we serve the most, more than 170,000 adults are uninsured. And of these, 1 in 3 will skip or delay care because of the cost. The barriers are overwhelming, whether it's cost, transportation, language, or simply not knowing where to go for care, leading to something I see far too often: treatable illness becoming chronic disease. That's the gap the ADG Free Clinic was created to fill.
It began in 2017 with our dental program, where we take a dental van into communities to provide procedures ranging from extractions to fillings. And then, in 2022, we began our main clinic. We offer free primary care every weekend, other services, and this is all done in multiple languages. In 2023, we began our mobile clinic program. We travel into various locations in communities and provide screenings such as blood pressure, bone density, vision, and hearing for patients who can't come to us. When looking at all the data that we had gathered, we noticed something alarming. Over 1 in 4 people had undiagnosed hypertension, and 62% had prediabetes or diabetes that they didn't even know about. So that's why, in 2025, we launched our Heart Health Initiative. We offered A1C panels, lipid testing, and, for the first time, regular bi-weekly cardiology consultations. The best part is, there's no ID or insurance required for any of these programs.
What started as a dental program has grown into a system of care. To date, we have held more than 600 free clinic events, serving more than 13,300 unique patients who have visited our clinic more than 24,600 times. That's more than $2.7 million in care, provided across all of our programs.
However, none of this would be possible without our volunteers. UMD volunteers have contributed over 41,300 volunteer hours. This comes from intaking and screening patients, writing grants, and packing groceries that go home with every patient. This has helped distribute over 624,000 pounds of food, which amounts to more than $1.1 million in food delivered to patients facing food insecurity. This has also helped us raise over $2.7 million in funds, which keeps our clinic operations running every week, funds our food efforts, and much more.
But we don't just treat the patient. We remove the barriers to care. First, we provide groceries at every visit. Patients leave with 40 pounds of fresh groceries every time they leave our clinic because it's difficult to manage conditions like diabetes and hypertension if you cannot afford healthy food. Second, we provide care in the major languages spoken by our communities. Our UMD volunteers speak a variety of languages, including Amharic, Spanish, French, alongside other languages like Farsi, Hindi, Guyanese, and more, ensuring that language is never a barrier to understanding care. And finally, we connect patients to the healthcare system. Patients visit our clinic an average of 4 to 6 times, while we connect them to long-term primary and specialty care through our partnership with Montgomery Cares and our physician network.
If we were to win the $10,000, it would help expand 2 parts of our key care model. First, $6,500 would go towards expanding specialty care. Cardiology already proved the model works, with biweekly cardiologists changing lives. Now, we want to expand that to dermatology, ophthalmology, and mental health, specialties our patients need the most. The remaining $3,500 will go towards a patient stability fund. This will help fund pays for medication, equipment, and transportation, services our patients need to follow through on their plan. And we're confident that once the Do Good Challenge funding helps us start these programs, we have funders and organizations who will support the future growth and sustainability of these programs. I saw Maria a few months ago at the clinic. Her blood pressure is now under control, and she has consistent access to healthcare for the first time in her life through a Montgomery Cares clinic. Rather than worrying about when her next headache is going to be, she can now go on walks with her kids and play soccer with her son on the weekends. Maria is just one of the 13,000 patients that we have helped, but there are still thousands more just like her, waiting to receive the life-changing care that they deserve. We are the American Diversity Group Free Clinic. Free care for everyone. Thank you.
Well done, gentlemen. Thank you very much. And I have to say, I'm really amazed at what you're doing. You're providing critical, important screening and care to people who could not afford it. It is extraordinary. I want to commend you for that. What I really want to understand, though, is your operating model. You've already raised $2.7 million. You're only looking for $10,000 because this is what we can offer the Do-Good Institute. But help me understand, what are the core underlying assumptions of your operating model that's enabling you to deliver all this care for free? And how do you sustain it?
Yeah, I'd love to answer that question. So a lot of our partners, including Montgomery County themselves, because we're a trusted referral to their mobile clinic, COA International, Adventist Healthcare, the hospital in Montgomery County, and even Healthcare Initiative, they provide regular funding because we have provided data that we are making measurable patient outcomes, whether that's reducing ER visits, reducing their A1C levels, or just making sure they're healthy. Because of that, we have consistent funding from them because we're getting measurable outcomes. But additionally, our volunteers are helping to do grant writing workshops where we, together as a team, seek out private grants, corporate grants, community grants to get more funding for services that our patients need.
For a concrete example, when we started our Heart Health Initiative, we saw that within the first 3 months, 70% of patients lowered their A1C levels, and 45% had lower blood pressure. That's when the Healthcare Initiative Foundation stepped in and actually started to fund our healthcare initiative every single month afterwards. So we have shown strong sustainability and strong consistency of funding from our partnerships with various programs.
Thank you.
So I'm very, very impressed by this because being able to scale something of this size across in-person and mobile clinics, that's really hard. I think the 10K is going to be a great start for specialty care, but something tells me this can be a lot larger. I can see how volunteers can scale, but the biggest question I have is how do you scale providers? Providers are hard, and scaling provider operations is really hard. So as you guys grow, what's your plan for provider scaling?
That's a great question. So the American Diversity Group, we actually have a physician network. These are physicians who believe in our mission of providing free care for all and ensuring access to specialty care for all. So through our network, we're able to get physicians to come to our clinic already and expand to other specialties, and we just pay for the day-to-day supplies. But regarding expanding the network to other specialties, let's say endocrinology or podiatry, we network out to other community doctors, those in the local Montgomery region or those in the counties where our mobile clinics go to. Through those networking, through those partnerships, and communicating our mission, we have found and we will continue to find more doctors who believe in our mission.
Thanks.
I'm interested, obviously your model works with volunteers, and you mentioned that you were working with Maria. How are you training volunteers to be able to go in and do this kind of work?
Yep, so I'd like to answer that question. So I want to answer that with a brief clarification. So all medical decision-making when it comes to diagnosing patients, figuring out conditions, providing medication, those all fall to the physician. But our volunteers, we are in a well-defined support role where we do basic screenings, triage, documentations, walking patients through translating documents, and the steps to getting long-term care. To train that, we work with physicians, we work with current MAs that are licensed, as well as falling back on our senior members of the American Diversity Group, those who have worked in private practice, hospitals, or work directly with physicians, allowing us to make sure that each volunteer is competent and trained and compassionate in their patient care.
The best part is it's also so multifaceted. Volunteers at our organization get to serve as medical assistants, scribes, and they get to go to communities that have different healthcare outcomes than the ones surrounding us. As pre-medical students, we believe that it's very important that people of the future Doctors Society learn more about what are the different healthcare organizations everywhere.
Welcome to the stage, Hack for Impact UMD.
Imagine you're running a nonprofit that provides free meal deliveries to homebound and food-insecure residents. This week, 240 households are counting on you for their next meal. What do? First, you mobilize community members to pack 500 meals and deliver them to the 240 households in need. To prepare for these deliveries, you manually assign each of your 10 volunteer drivers a group of meals and a set of households, planning every route by hand each time. Just when you think you're ready, 2 drivers suddenly drop, and you must manually redo every route from scratch. In that moment, 100 meals are undelivered, and 40 households may starve until your next delivery date. What do you do now?
This is where we, as Hack for Impact UMD, save the day. Over the past 6 years, we have developed free software solutions to allow nonprofits to better serve their communities, especially on their most chaotic days. Good evening. My name is Aryan Patel.
My name is Krishnan Tholkapian, and we are the co-executive directors of UMD's chapter of Hack for Impact. What we just described isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's the real-world obstacles our nonprofit partner, Food for All DC, was facing. They deliver free meals to low-income and food-insecure residents in the DC metro area. Today, they deliver over 8,000 pounds of food weekly to 240 households and 50 unhoused neighbors. In spring of 2024, they brought their struggles to us, looking for a solution to solve their issues.
So what exactly does Hack for Impact do? We partner with nonprofits through a 5-stage process, starting with initial engagement to product handoff. Here's how we worked with Food for All DC.
First, we empathized. Food for All DC reached out to our nonprofit sourcing team, who scheduled multiple calls to understand their pain points. From that, we wrote a project description document, which captured both their needs and the solution.
Next, we mobilized. We recruited student product managers, tech leads, designers, engineers, and industry mentors to bring Food for All DC's specific vision to life.
Then, we designed, developed, and iterated on this vision across 2 semesters with Food for All DC.
We then visited Food for All DC to watch them in action and refine our application to ensure it actually fits their real-world needs.
Finally, we wrote user guides and documentation to hand off the application to the nonprofit and ensure its long-term success.
The solution we handed off to Food for All DC was an application similar to DoorDash and Salesforce combined. It was a client management system with automated delivery route creation, and this increased their operational efficiency by about 30%, which then allowed them to deliver over 600,000 pounds of food to their community. But Food for All DC is just one example.
Another nonprofit we partnered with is Why Not. Why Not provides leadership and mentorship development to over 2,400 middle and high school students in the DMV area. They were using time-consuming and inefficient manual spreadsheets and forms for their course management. We built a course management tool, like Canvas, so that their staff could automate these processes. Our tool helped reduce their workload by 45%, enabling their teachers to focus on serving their students.
Another nonprofit we've worked with is Needy Meds. Needy Meds offers a drug discount card that has saved people up to $13 million in medication costs. However, their users struggle to access these cards at their pharmacies. So we built an app to help them compare drug prices in real time and store their drug discount cards in their Apple or Google wallets. Our app helped 30% more people access their drug discount cards and access educational resources for affordable medication. Since we began in 2020, we've worked with 33 nonprofits across healthcare, education, food insecurity, and others to design tech solutions that strengthen the nonprofit sector.
We've saved our nonprofits approximately $38.64 million in software and labor costs.
And we've reached over 1.2 million individuals who have benefited from the solutions we have provided to our nonprofit partners. With Do Good's funding, we will improve 3 areas of our operations. Our first focus is NPO site visits. With this opportunity, our members can go visit our NPO partners and witness firsthand the challenges they face in their day-to-day lives, which we can use to deliver more comprehensive solutions.
Next is project maintenance. We take on all maintenance and development costs to deliver free solutions to our partners. Funding allows us to not only maintain existing projects, but to pursue complex and costly ones, such as those with AI and LLM features.
Finally, impact assessment. We like to develop a dashboard to monitor project health and ensure user satisfaction post-handoff with additional visits. Together, these will help us better equip our nonprofit partners with the technical resources to effectively use our solutions and better serve their communities.
Do Good's funding is important now more than ever, as in 2025, Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act into law, decreasing federal spending by $1.2 trillion over the next decade. This has cut or even eliminated essential food, education, and healthcare programs. People historically turn to the nonprofit sector to meet their basic needs, and this has increased drastically due to the federal program cuts. So help us bridge the digital divide by equipping nonprofits with the technology they deserve and empowering communities to overcome their greatest barriers, one build at a time.
great presentation, guys, and I really love what you're doing. My question is on the point you guys made surrounding project maintenance post-go live. Maybe I'm the only one who has some PTSD with this, but writing good code is really hard, right? And writing things that scale is also very difficult. So when you're solving a lot of like the examples you gave, really critical function processes for a lot of these nonprofits that probably don't have the funding to invest in great engineering teams themselves, how do you ensure scalability in your products continuing to work after you've tested them, handed things off, and they're continuing to potentially have issues?
Great question. So when we develop our projects for our nonprofit partners, we ensure that we are using the industry standard software tools in order to get them the best product they can. So we use a lot of commercial softwares and free ones so we can deliver it at zero cost to our nonprofit partners. And we sit down with our nonprofit partners, understand all their pain points, and ensure that it fits their very specific needs so we can ensure that they don't encounter any more problems in the future.
So I need to ask a follow-up question to that. That's great for when you go live. I think what you are asking is what happens when there's glitches 6 months, 9 months later, a year later?
Yeah. So within Hack for Impact, we have what's called a long-term success team, and their purpose is to periodically reach out to all of our past nonprofit partners to ensure that everything is running smoothly with our projects that we've delivered to them. And so what they do is when they reach out to our past nonprofit partners, they also provide them an intake form that they can submit to us if they have any bugs or fixes that they were going to request us to fix. And once they submit that, our long-term success team gets on it right away and delivers it back to them.
So great presentation, wonderful work. I know not a lot of nonprofits need your support. My question more is around artificial intelligence and the coding that you're doing and how you're using AI and how long you need to be doing this work and how this is going to change how you support your organizations, your partners.
That's actually a great question, and something we tell all our members or nonprofits or anyone who works with us is that people come first before all the technology. We approach all of our projects with a people-first mindset. So we analyze, is AI necessary in this context? Because AI is not necessary everywhere. We need to think of it in a human-first mindset, and we do use AI on our own development teams because, as you know, in industry, AI has revolutionized everything, and it amplifies the amazing work that we've been doing. So it's improved our operations by 10 times, and it's sped up our workflow so we're able to develop solutions faster for these nonprofits. But speaking in terms of AI solutions, we only use it for the nonprofits if they like it and if it's necessary.
Okay, so here's my question. How are you measuring your success? What's your ROI?
So as part of that long-term success team, when they reach out to our past nonprofits, we receive the feedback from them on how they're utilizing our projects that we've handed off. And some of the things we look for is longevity of use, how long they've been operationalizing our solution, the ease of integration, so how easily have they incorporated our solution into their day-to-day lives, and also number of beneficiaries reached, so how many people are actively using our solution within their communities that they serve. And with the funding that we'll get to fund future NPO site visits, we can collect that information in more depth for ourselves when we go visit our nonprofit partners.
Maybe sneak in a super quick last question. Great partnerships go both ways. What's an example of a situation where you decided not to work with a potential partner because you didn't feel like you were the best fit?
We require weekly calls with our nonprofits, and if the team doesn't have the opportunity to meet with the nonprofit weekly or the nonprofit doesn't consider us a priority, right, then we unfortunately do have to drop them, and we have done that in the past for the sake of our organization and the students who work very hard on our products.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome to the stage, Remote Area Medical, UMD.
Good evening, everyone. Before I get started, I have a quick question for all of you. How many medical emergencies are really emergencies, and how many of them could have been prevented? As a state and nationally certified EMT, I have seen firsthand how dire the care access gap within our own community is, and I've been working firsthand to address these problems. My name is Malini Raghu, and I'm the president of Remote Area Medical.
And my name is Sarli Korjakar, and I serve as the vice president of RAM. 2 years ago, I was able to attend my first clinic in Tacoma Park, Maryland, and I was assigned to the vision section. There, I was able to help out in the mobile vision lab and create a pair of glasses for a patient that I had just triaged. When I handed him that pair of glasses, the way that his eyes lit up told me that it was more than just about providing healthcare services, it was also about restoring their independence and quality of life. In the United States, roughly 117 million people lack access to affordable health care. 51% of Black and Hispanic adults delay care due to cost, which is especially applicable to the Prince George's County because 75% of their population falls within this demographic. This can lead to delayed treatment and 48,000 annual deaths due to the lack of insurance.
So what exactly is the solution to this? That's where the RAM model comes in. Community leaders fundraise and host RAM clinics within whichever community they desire, and these clinics provide free dental, vision, and medical care with no ID or insurance required. And this truly is the perfect solution because it connects patients to affordable long-term specialty care options. What do RAM clinics provide? Our medical care is extremely expansive with physical exams, BP, BMI, glucose tests, options for chronic pain medication and management, free medication on site, telehealth appointments with specialty providers, as well as an expansive options with dental care, including cleanings, extractions, fillings and cavity x-rays, gum disease treatment, and don't forget about our vision care, including eye exams, glasses and contacts on site, and various different disease screenings, which is equally important.
But this isn't theoretical. Since 2022, UMD students have helped deliver over $8.12 million in healthcare services, serving 67,000 patients across 33 clinics in the Northeast. With 780 multilingual volunteers and 28,600 hours served, we have both the experience and the infrastructure to execute our goal.
RAM has had many campus accomplishments within the past year, including $6,500 in funding from the UMD School of Public Health for the Social Action Student Award, as well as the Do Good Accelerator Program and the City of Hyattsville Grant. And we've built lots of valuable partnerships within our community, including the Greater Washington Community Foundation, the Princeton Review, and lots of restaurants and companies that are willing to support our initiative. And in terms of our growth, since the start of our organization in 2021, our organization now has over 300 active members, and this growth isn't projected to end anytime soon. So why does RAM UMD want to host a clinic here in PG County? Siley and I have been students within UMD for 4 years, and we now know it's time to give back to the community that surrounds us. This area is our home and our local community, and I've seen the dire care access gaps that are within our community. And it's time to support student families that could also be experiencing these gaps. It is our responsibility as students to give back.
With this initiative, the UMD RAM chapter hopes to host a clinic in Prince George's County, specifically Northwestern High School. Currently, there are about 6,000 residents in Prince George's County that do not receive the care that they need. So, we will mobilize over 300 volunteers to serve 2,500 patients in 2 days, addressing the needs of 45% of this population. Additionally, this can prevent up to 1,500 emergency room visits, saving up to $2.5 million in cost. Our clinic coming up in August will be providing $280,000 in medical services. But with this $10,000 investment, we can now provide $380,000 in medical services. This can support volunteers and directly fund patient care through screenings, prescriptions, essential medications. I would like to draw emphasis on the unique aspects of our clinic specifically, starting off with the essential medications that can help up to 1,000 patients. The mobile vision lab can provide glasses for up to 500 patients, and on average, we have about 300 to 500 glasses that we give per clinic. And lastly, something that's special to UMD RAM is we'll be the first RAM clinic to be hosting a specialty care and maternal health. So this isn't just a clinic. It's $380,000 in care, 2,500 lives impacted, and a long-term sustainable model.
We know we're the last presentation of the evening, so thank you so much to our audience for hanging in there with us. And here's a QR code that gives more information about our club. And judges, we're ready for your questions. Thank you so much.
I'll go first. So this is really exciting, and it's wonderful that you want to bring it right here. Have you already raised all the money you need for your August clinic, and then the $10,000 is added on? So you already have everything you need. That's a for sure go.
Yes, so we have enough money to be hosting our own clinic. However, part of these funds can be used to also provide for specialty care. So we mentioned the mobile vision lab, we mentioned the maternal health. So having additional funds allows us to really use that for specialty care because these are problems that are within Prince George's County and unique to us, and we want to hit those right now.
Oh, great, thank you. Congratulations, great representation. I love this model, it sounds wonderful, and I'm quite impressed with what you guys are doing, so kudos to you. I want to understand this, so you want to bring this to Prince George's County, you have the plan to do that, you've got the resources to do it. What is your due diligence on Prince George's telling you about the potential long-term viability of this model, given that the local community has to raise the money to keep it going? You have your initial funding, seed funding. What's the long-term viability of this model in Prince George's County?
Yeah, of course. So long-term, we're really looking at getting grants, working with a national nonprofit. So Remote Area Medical is a national organization, and we're really working with them to secure our funding to keep this going long-term. Our goal is to host a clinic every single semester, so grants is a great way to kind of have that longevity. And when we put our name out there with one clinic, it opens doors for thousands, hundreds more. So our goal is really to put our name out there now, and we have all the training, all the expertise by going to these 33 clinics and then opening the doors from then on.
I'm really excited by what you guys want to be able to do this year, and I think it's going to do a ton for the community. Where my mind immediately goes is, what's it going to take for you to do this 3 times more in a year, 4 times more in a year? And the question that comes to my mind is, can you walk me through a little bit more about the operating model and expenses that it's taken you to get to getting this event live? Knowing that this 10K is going to help you do even more, but walk me through what it takes kind of start to finish from a cost perspective to get one of these things executed.
From a cost perspective, the way that it really works is first we do all this fundraising to really see how much we need. So we've talked to the UVA RAM chapter to understand their expenses. They've held, I think, 3 clinics a year, similar to what we want to be doing. And the way that they discussed is they broke it down into the dental, medical, and vision services. We also are able to kind of predict how many patients we want to reach and how many patients we can reach. On average, at each clinic, there's between 2,000 to 2,500 patients. And from there, that's how we kind of are able to understand, okay, so for dental, the 1,500 breakdown is what we'll be giving to the RAM national organization to, in exchange, give the supplies. So we're kind of providing the funding for all the supplies that we'll be receiving. Same with the vision care. We use the stats, the 500 on average glasses that we do give at clinics. We're using those stats, and we have donated glasses frames to then work with the mobile vision lab and create those lenses. And then lastly, we have volunteers, and we have everybody coming to really donate their time. So the way that we're translating this is, in the real world, this is how much your actual surgery, not surgery, but your actual needs would be costing, and this is how we translate it to what we would be needing.
I have one more real quick. Great. What is the hardest part, putting the money aside, what's the most challenging part about starting a clinic here in Prince George's County?
So I think one of the most difficult things that we've noticed is that being able outreach. Outreach takes a lot of time, and being able to hit the correct target audience is something we've been working on. But one of the things we've done to address this is send out a lot of surveys to gauge what our audience or what our attendees really need. And that's how we're able to track what should our clinic really provide. And that's how we know who are we providing this to, who's the best care, who's the best audience to give this care to, and that's how we're keeping track.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's give one more round of applause for our Leaders Track finalists and judges. judges are eager to deliberate. They're heading off to the deliberation chamber before I excuse them. Excellent. So a little later tonight, during our voting window, you're going to get the chance to vote for which finalist team is going to receive the $2,500 Audience Choice Award, and which semifinalist team, which you're about to hear from, giving a lightning pitch, will receive $1,000 for their impact. Our semifinalist teams tonight are DefenX and Lean On Me UMD. Before we bring out our lightning pitches, we're going to watch one more video highlighting Impact DMV.
Impact DMV started with me working in the school system and getting a daily reminder that history was going to repeat itself. Like myself, there were a lot of young kids that were doing everything right, but were not afforded the guidance and opportunity to reach their ultimate career and collegiate goals. And Impact DMV was born.
Through Impact DMV and with Ms. Armani's guidance, it was more than just a college application process. You know, it was figuring out life, figuring out my career and what I wanted to do throughout my college journey. With the support of Impact DMV and their volunteers and mentors, I was able to create an essay that was very impactful and got me into 14 different institutions and universities.
The most exciting part about our early stages were the results. And that helped me know that we had something here. To just have the support of the Do Good Accelerator and so many people that they've connected us to. As a student in the graduate certificate program, the professors were always so welcoming. I went to so many office hours to honestly talk about the organization, and I still have relationships with those professors to this day. Impact DMV has helped 60 graduating high school seniors receive over 650 college acceptances and over $21 million in scholarships.
Welcome to the stage, DefenX.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing evening. My name is Trinity Gubba, and I'm the CEO of DefenX. So today, I want to talk about something that is very personal to me and my team. In 2025, there were 78 school shootings across the United States. And my team and I, just like many students here, grew up a part of the lockdown generation. We heard our teachers back in the day say things like, "Everybody go silent, sit down under the tables as I turn the lights off." We're not sure if this is a drill or if it's something more. And unfortunately, for some of our team members, this was more than just a drill. This was real-life examples of lockdown and lockout due to gun violence in the surrounding environments. And in terms of school safety solutions today, there are a lot of challenges. For example, a lot of solutions today are very invasive. They make students feel like they're being watched rather than protected. Along with that, solutions can be very expensive, costing upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars just for one school. And lastly, solutions today can be very fragmented. So whether that being like the softwares on the cameras, the softwares with phones, them not working well together can cause delays. And those types of delays can be deadly in a situation like this. That's why our team used these experiences and challenges to build DefenX. DefenX is an AI weapon detection system specifically tailored for schools. So how it works is that we detect the firearm, we track its movement throughout campus, we also notify the right stakeholders at the right time, so staff, students, etc., and we provide post-incident resources for the school to really help them understand the event. And what's really great about our solution is that because it's designed for schools, we made it work with existing infrastructure and have made it much more affordable compared to our competitors. We have also done pilot tests at the University of Maryland's Idea Factory and have reached a 98% detection accuracy with our solution. In terms of current steps, we've done over 200 stakeholder interviews to really understand our problem and create a solution accordingly. We are also in talks to conduct more pilots with private schools in the DMV region, and we've also received a $250,000 safe investment through the Exfoundry program at UMD. And overall, with the $1,000 from tonight, we could do so much more right now. We could work with one school in the DMV that is under-resourced and provide them a free solution and make their school a safer environment so that no student has to feel the same uncertainty we do. So please vote DefenX. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the stage. Lean on Me, UMD.
A 2024 report by the American College Health Association found that nearly half of college students in the US stated they felt so depressed that it was difficult to function, while over 60% of students have experienced overwhelming anxiety. These people are more than just a statistic. They're our lab partners, our roommates, our friends. We at Lean On Me College Park are committed to supporting our 40,000 fellow Terps through a free, anonymous text line run entirely by UMD students for UMD students. Any Terp can text into the line and get matched with an operator in 3 minutes or less to receive immediate support on anything from breakups to exam stress, financial challenges, coming out to their family, or just loneliness. These conversations have had a real impact on students who report a 20% immediate reduction in stress on average after using our service. Over the past 6 years, we have trained over 200 volunteers who have supported the UMD community across 65,000 text messages and nearly 1,500 total conversations. We are proud to be the largest Lean On Me chapter in the nation and the only one in the state of Maryland. But mental health crises aren't unique to just College Park. Students at other Maryland universities would also greatly benefit from their own peer text lines, which can be expensive to start up and maintain. The $1,000 prize allows us to help start a new chapter at Johns Hopkins University, expanding Lean On Me access to over 25,000 new students. We have the blueprint, but we need funds to help make it a reality. Please vote for Lean On Me College Park and help us ensure that no student in the state of Maryland ever has to face their hardest days alone. Thank you.
Let's give a round of applause for our amazing lightning pitch teams. Hello, my name is Keisha McNeil, and I'm the manager of the Do Good Accelerator. You've heard a lot of impressive impact tonight from an incredible group of students. And now it's time for you to weigh in and vote for your favorite finalist team and lightning pitch team to win prize money. First up is our finalist Audience Choice Award. The winner of this award will take home $2,500 tonight. On the screen will be the text-to-vote information. We'll give you a minute to think it over and cast your vote. Be sure to text just the letter that corresponds to your favorite finalist team tonight. Go ahead, pull out your phones. Start pulling. Next up is our lightning pitch vote. The winner of this award will take home $1,000 tonight. But don't worry, the other lightning pitch team will also walk away with $750. Lightning team number 1 was Defenex, and lightning team number 2 was Lean on Me, UMD. On the screen will be the text to vote information. You only get one vote, so make it count. And remember to text the letter only, just the letter that corresponds to your top lightning pitch team. All right, time's up. Thank you for casting your votes and picking which teams impressed you the most tonight. We know it was a hard choice. While your votes are being tallied, we're gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna ask 4 do-good students to come out on stage to go head-to-head to answer trivia questions about the do-good community. Each contestant will answer 5 questions, and everyone will get to take home a bag of do-good giveaways just for playing. Now, don't be shy out there in the audience. You are their lifeline. Help them win by shouting out what you think the right answer is. Shout out the letter of the correct answer to help them win. If you've been paying attention tonight, you've already heard all the answers. So let's meet our contestants. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Roshni. I'm a bioengineering major and the co-director for Terrapin Think Tank, UMD's first student-led policy incubator that seeks to solve public health challenges impacting Prince George's County.
That's great, thank you. How about you?
Hi everyone, my name is Falashade Babinu. I'm a junior electrical engineering student here at UMD and a program assistant at the Do Good Institute supporting initiatives like mini grants and impact interns.
Thank you, and next up?
Hello, I'm Annie. I'm an architecture major. I joined Do Good through the Impact Bootcamp program, and I'm currently a student ambassador. And you might have seen me holding the door, walking around the place today.
Thank you, and remind everyone who you are and what you're passionate about.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dennis. I'm a neurophys and public health major, and I'm a previous 3-time Accelerator fellow, and I'm actually Keisha's assistant at the Do Good Accelerator.
Now that we know who you are and how you do good, let's test your knowledge with some trivia. I'll ask you a question and give you 10 seconds to select your answer. Once those 10 seconds are up, I'll ask you to show us your answer. Are you ready? Audience, are you ready? Yes. Good. Okay. Question number 1. Statistically speaking, how many people need to be trained by True Community in first aid and CPR before someone's life will be saved? A, 150, B, 250, C, 500, or D, 100? You have 10 seconds to think. Do you agree? Do we agree or do we not agree? Okay. All right. Time's up. So the correct answer is D, 100. And now, on to the second question. Question number 2. What experience motivated Armani McMillan to create more equitable educational opportunities for students through her nonprofit Impact DNB? A, her work as a college admissions officer reviewing applications. B, her experience as a Prince George's County educator. C, her involvement in statewide education policy reform efforts. Or D, her time volunteering with national college readiness nonprofits. You have 10 seconds to think it over. Okay, let's see. Do we agree? Yeah? All right. The correct answer is B, her experience as a Prince George's County educator. Good job. Question number 3. Leaders Track Judge Viraj Shah has won the Do Good Challenge for 2 different initiatives. What are the names of the projects that won the 2021 and the 2022 Do Good Challenges? A, Invigorate and MedConnect. B, Activize and Speak Health. C, Vitalize and Chat Health. Or D, Enliven and Care Chat. Ten seconds, I don't hear you. So you agree? Yes? All right. The correct answer is C, Vitalize and Chat Health. Good job. On to question 4. Which resources or opportunities can current UMD students access through the Do Good Institute? A, internships with nonprofit organizations. B, funding for social impact projects. C, coaching and mentorship on how to start a growth project. Or D, all of the above. 10 seconds. I don't hear you. Come on, audience, help me. All right. So we agree? Do we agree with these answers? Okay, we want them to win. So, time's up. The correct answer is D, all of the above. Good job. You all have been paying attention. And for our last question, question number 5. How many total students have been engaged through Do Good programs and partnerships this academic year? A, 10,000, B, 7,000, C, 5,000, or D, 8,000? Louder. Okay, we have consensus here. We agree with their answer? Okay, the correct answer is A, 10,000 students. And that wraps up our trivia questions. let's give these incredible students another big round of applause. You can exit the stage. Thanks for playing with us. Thank you, audience, for helping them. All right. And now the time has come. We're ready to start announcing the winners of the 2026 Do Good Challenge. I'd like to ask our judges, finalists, and lightning pitch teams to come back out, along with President Pines, Dean Flores Marcias, and Bob Grimm. What a truly incredible evening this has been. Thank you all for being here and showing support for these incredible chance makers and incredible chance takers and difference makers. Congratulations again to all of our teams. And now, without further ado, we've tallied your votes and have the winners for our Audience Choice Awards. First up, I'm pleased to share the winner of the $1,000 Lightning Audience Choice Award is Definex. Congratulations. That means the runner-up receiving $750 Lightning Choice Audience Award is Lean On Me. Congratulations. We can't wait to see all the incredible things you continue to achieve. Next up is our finalist Audience Choice Award. This team will be taking home an additional $2,500 tonight. Can I get a drum roll? Great drum roll. Congratulations to Black People Die by Suicide 2. Let's give a big round of applause to all of our Audience Choice Award winners. And now I'd like to welcome Sagar Doshi to announce the winners in the Founders track.
Yeah, we just want to start off by saying, I know all the judges talked about, for us, this was a really great issue learning opportunity across all three of the projects that we witnessed, and just seeing how passionate each organization was on each of the topics was incredible. I'll be announcing the Founders winners. We'll start with our third place winner in the Founders track. Congratulations to Nurture Natives. We thought you did a great job identifying an important gap in the market and an innovative solution when it comes to youth and native plants. We ask that you continue to have a sustainable infrastructure when it comes to your leadership model. And now our second place winner in the Founders track is New Generation Myanmar. We thought you had a clear, logical story of impact and scale with the funds, and we were hungry to learn more about what is the continued story of impact when you grow with learners. And with that, that makes our first place winner in the Founders track, Black People Die by Suicide 2. We thought you did a great job describing how partnerships have helped you scale your impact, and we ask that you continue to share the story of ROI when it comes to the winning funds. And now I'd like to welcome Viraj Shah to the podium to announce the winners of the Leaders track. Thank you.
What an absolutely incredible evening of presentations. You know, when I was backstage talking with our fellow judges, we're just saying how the quality of these presentations and the level of impact that each of these organizations are delivering are getting so much more incredible year over year. I was joking, if I was participating today, it would not have been a good outcome for me. So I'll be announcing our leaders winners. This was a really difficult decision for us because honestly, like I was saying, these presentations were incredible. So we'll start with our third place winner in the leaders track, which is Remote Area Medical UMD. All right. We're really impressed by, in a relatively short period of time, the level of impact you guys have had delivering care, and we're super excited for what the upcoming event has and what you guys are going to do for the local Prince George's County community. And we'd love for you to think a little bit more about both the operating model as you guys scale as an organization, and then really a little bit more about the sustainability of your fundraising strategy, especially in the market and the communities you're trying to work with. And now our second place winner in the leaders track is American Diversity Group Free Clinic. You know, as a very failed medical student myself, I was absolutely blown away by the impact that you guys have done with both the mobile clinics, what you guys have done brick and mortar, and what you're doing with Heart Health. You guys absolutely got to keep that up. It was phenomenal. And really, what I'd love for you guys to think a little bit more about in the next year is as you guys grow, because it's obvious you're going to grow, scalability of thinking about how you guys can keep acquiring providers, keeping them motivated, and ensuring that this is sustainable long-term. And that makes, without further ado, our first place winner in the leaders track, Hack for Impact. You know, we were blown away with what your team has done with a relatively small amount of funds and the scalability of being able to work with not-for-profit organizations and use this talent and software to solve some of their greatest challenges. I think that was absolutely incredible. And as you guys continue to grow, our piece of feedback would be think about how you can capture the narratives and stories of ROI of the organizations you're working with. Because the finish line that we all would want you to run towards is how 2 years, 5 years, 10 years after you're implementing, these not-for-profit organizations are continually scaling on the solutions that they build with Hack for Impact. So congratulations to everyone. What an incredible group of organizations.
All right, my friends, how about one more round of applause for our incredible finalists, judges, and everyone who involved in Do Good. All right, and I've got two more things, all right? One is, you don't have to sit down, but you can. Two more things. One is, you want to keep your April 2027 open because that's going to be the incredible 15th anniversary of the Do Good Challenge. All right? This has been incredible. We're going to keep going. All right? And the last thing, let's all go out and do more good. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.